Ever feel like trying to keep up with AI is, well, basically a full-time job, and you're already behind on your actual job?
Oh, absolutely. One minute you think you've got a handle on it, the next,
Yeah.
something completely new pops up. It's relentless.
Exactly. So we're here to try and make some sense of it.
Mhm.
Today, we're doing a deep dive into where things stand with artificial general intelligence, AGI, and, all the related AI stuff.
Right. And we're drawing on some really key conversations that happened recently. We've got insights from Sam Altman's TED Talk, the one at TED 2025.
And also Demis Hassabis's interview on 60 Minutes. So two people right at the heart of it all.
Yeah, really good vantage points on where AI is headed, like right now and in the near future.
So our mission today basically is to pull out the core ideas. What's the current state? What's coming soon? We want to give you the stuff that really matters, the potentially transformative bits, without you needing a PhD to follow along.
Sounds good. Let's
Well,
get into it. Maybe start with the speed, because that came up a lot.
yeah, the sheer pace of it all,
Yeah,
it's kind of mind-boggling.
it really is. Altman, he mentioned OpenAI is putting out new models pretty much every other week.
Every other week, that's just wild. Think about that rhythm for innovation.
Right. It's not just small updates. It suggests like a totally different cycle for how this tech evolves
Yeah.
and how everyone else tries to keep up.
No kidding. And Hassabis kind of echoed that, didn't he? Talking about an exponential curve.
He did. He said it's going straight up, and the speed itself is actually increasing.
So not just fast, but accelerating fast.
Exactly. It's that compounding effect. Each step builds on the last, but faster each time. Which, if you're trying to stay informed.
Yeah, it feels like you're drinking from a fire hose. That's why we're hoping this deep dive helps, gives you that shortcut to the essential takeaways.
Okay, so beyond the speed, what about what these things can do right now? Because the capabilities are getting seriously impressive.
Oh, yeah. Altman showed some examples that were pretty eye-opening. Sora, for instance, the text-to-video thing.
Ah, yes, the TED example he mentioned, where it generated a video based on the prompt, "Shocking revelations at TED."
That was it. Just thinking an AI can take that phrase and create that whole visual scene, it's a huge leap.
It shows a kind of creative potential, or at least simulation of it, that's quite striking. He also showed that diagram, didn't he, about intelligence versus consciousness.
Right, suggesting Sora's abilities aren't just like pattern-matching visuals. There's some deeper understanding going on.
And what about the Charlie Brown image?
Yeah. Charlie Brown is an AI. A bit funny, but it also showed how these models handle context, maybe even a bit of self-awareness, or at least mimicking it.
It definitely pushes on how we define understanding, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The output feels intelligent.
Yeah, does the how matter as much? It's a
Yeah.
big question. And then Hassabis had his own set of demos with Project Astra.
Right, from DeepMind, that was compelling too. The multimodal aspect, seeing, hearing, talking about things all at once.
The painting examples were amazing. It wasn't just recognizing the painting.
No, it was interpreting them, like the Edward Hopper painting Automat. It described the woman as pensive, contemplative.
And then it made up a little story about why she might be feeling that way. That's beyond just tagging pixels.
It suggests some level of, I don't know, emotional resonance, or at least sophisticated inference about human states. And it can pick up on conversational cues, too.
Like the interviewer's, and changes in tone.
Exactly. That kind of nuance is getting closer to how humans interact.
Hmm.
And a lot of this isn't explicitly programmed, right? It sort of emerges from the training on huge data sets.
Which is maybe the biggest aha moment here. These capabilities are appearing almost organically from the process.
Definitely feels like a shift. Which brings us to AGI, artificial general intelligence, the big one.
Right. Altman drew a pretty clear line between today's AI and actual AGI.
Yeah, his point was basically, current models are super smart, yes, but they don't learn continuously on their own, they don't adapt broadly, and they can't just independently tackle complex knowledge work like a person can.
So it's the generality, the autonomy, the continuous learning that's missing for true AGI.
That's the idea. Hassabis defined it slightly differently, maybe more aspirationally. He called it a silicon intellect, as versatile as a human, but with superhuman speed and knowledge.
Okay, that paints a picture. And you mentioned DeepMind is actively training models like Gemini to act in the world.
Yes, things like booking tickets, shopping online, he sees that as a step towards AGI.
And he put a time frame on it, didn't he? Something like,
5 to 10 years. He said they felt they were on track for AGI within that window.
wow, okay, that's soon in the grand scheme of things. A very bold prediction.
It is, and it highlights the debate, how far away are we, really? Altman also talked about something maybe more near-term, but still huge, agentic software engineering.
Agentic software. What does that mean exactly?
Basically, AI systems that can handle complex software development tasks themselves, acting like autonomous agents in that process.
So, AI writing code, fixing bugs, maybe even designing systems?
Potentially, yeah. He told that story about their early system, Operator, trying to book a restaurant. It gives you a sense of where it could go.
Right. AI not just answering questions, but doing things for you, proactively. That suggests a pretty different future for how we interact with tech day to day.
Which leads nicely into the potential upsides, right? The benefits everyone hopes for.
Yeah, Altman seemed really excited about science, using AI to accelerate discovery.
He was talking about boosting productivity for scientists, maybe even cracking huge problems. I think he mentioned diseases, maybe even room temperature superconductors.
Room temperature superconductors. I mean, just imagine the impact of that. Energy, computing, everything changes.
It's almost hard to grasp. And Hassab has had his own example with the protein folding AI, AlphaFold.
Oh, right, the Nobel Prize-winning work. That wasn't DeepMind directly, but the AI he developed there.
Exactly. Taking protein structure prediction from years down to, what, weeks or months?
Mm-hmm.
That's game-changing for drug development. It's one of those, why didn't we think of this, wins powered by AI.
Absolutely. Sahabas even talked about radical abundance.
Yeah, this idea that AI could boost efficiency so much across the board that it basically eliminates scarcity for, well, for a lot of things.
That's a pretty utopian vision. Huge potential benefits.
Huge. But there's always a but, isn't there? The flip side is the concerns, the safety issues.
Definitely. Altman acknowledged the fear among creative people, right? Worries about AI stealing their work, devaluing it.
Mm-hmm. The whole intellectual property question is a minefield. That Peanuts example he used, with AI generating images in that style, where are the lines?
Yeah, how do you navigate copyright when an AI learns from everything? He suggested we need new economic models around creative work.
That seems inevitable. But the concerns go deeper than copyright, obviously. Altman mentioned misuse.
Like bioterror, cybersecurity attacks, even just losing control of these powerful systems.
All of the above. Sabas echoed those worries, two bad actors. Making sure AI stays aligned with human values, keeping it under control. These are massive challenges.
He talked about guardrails, didn't he? But also worried that the race for AI dominance might lead companies or countries to cut corners on safety.
That's a huge fear in the field. The pressure to be first could override caution.
So how are they thinking about managing this? Altman mentioned some kind of preparedness framework.
Yeah, for identifying and handling potential danger moments as AI gets more powerful. And there was that whole discussion about slowing down development.
Right, like Tristan Harris and others have called for. Altman's view seemed nuanced.
It did. He pushed back against a general slowdown, arguing we need to keep pushing to understand the risks and build safety measures alongside capabilities. But he also seemed to be evolving on policy.
How so? I remember he initially suggested a specific licensing agency.
Right, but in the TED Talk, he seemed to be moving away from that specific proposal. He still emphasized the need for external safety testing, especially for the really advanced models, but maybe not via one single agency.
So still focused on safety checks, but maybe more flexible on how they happen.
Seems like it. And defining those safety lines globally, that's another massive hurdle. Who decides what's safe enough?
Altman talked about understanding the collective value preference of users, which sounds complicated.
Extremely. How do you measure or enforce that globally? It's a key tension. We want the benefits, but managing the risks is incredibly complex.
Okay, so fast progress, incredible new abilities, steps towards AGI, huge potential benefits, but also really serious safety concerns being debated at the highest levels.
That sums it up pretty well. Which leads to the final question, really. What kind of world are we building here?
Altman painted a picture of the world his son might grow up in. What did that look like?
He described constant tech advancement, incredibly smart products and services everywhere, AI that really understands humans.
Material abundance, like Sabas's idea.
Yeah, rapid change becoming normal, and individuals having much greater power and impact, presumably amplified by AI.
He used that analogy, didn't he? The toddler with a magazine versus an iPad?
Right. Future generations will just see AI as normal, integrated, like we see smartphones today, perhaps. It won't seem like this alien technology.
It makes you wonder what we'll consider normal in 10 or 20 years. So pulling it all together for you, our listener, what are the big takeaways?
Well, first, that speed we talked about. It's not hype, it's real, it's accelerating, and it forces us to constantly adapt. Second, we're not at AGI yet. but the capabilities are advancing rapidly, particularly towards AI agents that can do things.
And third, the potential upside scientific breakthroughs, maybe even radical abundance, is immense, but it's tied directly to navigating these really complex safety and ethical challenges. We have to get that part right.
Absolutely. Which leaves us, and you, with a big thought to chew on. As AI gets woven deeper into the fabric of our lives, doing more and more complex tasks, what does that mean for human purpose? For creativity, for work, for what we value in ourselves and each other?
That's a profound question, and definitely not one with easy answers right now. It's clear this is a journey, and the landscape will keep shifting under our feet.
For sure. We'll keep tracking it and exploring these developments as they unfold.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. Lots to think about.